Okay, so let's see if we want, if our constructors are good enough to save our data members. Oops, they have assigned 100, 200, 300 and 500, which is not good for a constructor. So let's fix this problem in our constructor. Okay, instead of assigning values to h, m and s in constructor, we can safely use the set h, set m and set s setters, uh, which are actually validating the parameter for the correctness. Okay, and let's modify the other constructor as well, because we must provide similar behavior from all the constructors, because the user of our class does not know whether we have one constructor or 10 constructors, but we have claimed something at the time of construction that should be consistent in all the constructors. Okay, so still, what will be the output if we provide these initializers? Yes, your guess is right. So actually it requires to look at the set H, set M and set S in detail, what type of validation they are doing or what type of security they are providing to our data members. So let's group them together in a single row of code so that we can see what is there behavior. Okay, so they are actually trying to validate the parameters. So if the parameter is not in 0 and 23, it will not be assigned to h. If it is not in the range 0 59, it will not be assigned to m, and similarly if it is not in the range of 0 59, it will not be assigned to s. But in this case, h, m and s will retain their previous value, which is fine for the case of setters individually, but it is not good for constructor, because if we are constructing an object and we do not assign any value to it, then it will remain garbage, right? So we need to still fix something in the constructor. Okay, so let's initialize h, m and s before checking the value of parameter. So we assign h is equal to m is equal to s is equal to 0 and then check for the values. So in this case we are making sure that at least they are not in a garbage state, they are not in an invalid state, even if the parameters are not within the range, right? So in this case we have saved them to 000 instead of 100, 200, 300, or instead of garbage. So the next question is that good to partially initialize? For example, if I give 50 50 50, then which is good for m and s but not good for h, so should we sign this type of initialization? So whatever we decide, we should be consistent in both the constructors. So if one says that assigning, if we want to initialize a float value with 3.5 and we think that 3 is not valid, should assign only 0.5, or 0.5 is not valid, assign only 3, then it would not be a good idea, because this whole is a single unit. So similarly, this time object is a single unit, so we should either initialize all the members if all of them are valid, and we should not initialize any of them with the given values if they are partially invalid. So this type of code is already written in our set time method. So we'll simply use set time that checks for all the all the parameters to be correct before modifying the data members. But if we have decided this, then we must write the same uh, logic in both the constructors. Otherwise, our constructor will be inconsistent. So we copy and paste the same logic in the other constructor as well. Oops, so we don't have ABC here. Here we have K. So we'll pass the same K to all the three parameters. Okay, so now let's see what is the result. So the valid values have been assigned, but invalid has been restricted.